counting calories is like a full-time job. If you go to the gym, you're dieting, you're trying to get lean, you would understand what I'm saying. Because it's not the actual process of eating the food and not eating the unhealthy food that's hard. That's pretty easy. It obviously is hard sometimes. You're going to have cravings, whatever. And I've cheated on my diet many times before. In fact, I've cheated on my diet today. I've hit 5,000 calories today. I'm on a cut and I'm trying to eat 2,500 calories a day on my cut. And today I've eaten 5,000 calories. So, at least I'm honest. I'm not doing well on that. I'm already quite lean. But it's quite embarrassing, isn't it? Like, but we can all admit to that. We've all cheated on our diet before. But back to the focus of this video. Counting calories is like a full-time job. Like, it's not the actual, what I just said, it's not the actual process of eating and not eating the foods you can't eat that's hard. It's the fact that you've got to go on your phone. I use the calculator app to count my calories. You might use Chronometer, MyFitnessPal, whatever, to put your calories in, your macros. I just do calories. I don't track my protein, carbs, fats. I just have a general idea of the foods I'm eating, that I'm eating carbs, pre and post workout, protein, whatever. Minimize the fat. Yeah. But counting calories is honestly a full-time job. You've literally, like, it seems like such a silly thing. You've got, because you go on your phone, I go on the calculator app, and for my morning coffee, I'll put plus 65 calories. And then in my head, I'm thinking, oh, can't have another coffee. Or when I have breakfast, I've got to track my calories. Then I'll have breakfast, eggs. This morning I had eggs, avocado, and tuna. And honestly, you have to track that as well. I added it. Plus 680 calories, whatever. I was at like 700. And I was thinking, oh man, I only have 1,800 calories left today. And then I'm thinking, but it's just distracting me on my daily life. Like, I'm doing my stuff in life. Maybe I'm going to college, whatever. I'm working. I'm doing stuff in my daily life. Yeah, I'm going to the shop, whatever. I'm doing stuff in my daily life. But it's just that thought lingering in my head. Oh, you can't go over your calories today. You've got to eat foods within your calories. Like, it's a full-time job. And I just dream of being able to eat intuitively and then achieve the goals that I want to achieve, which is get lean or get to 10% body fat. Like, it just feels like a full-time job. Like, the amount of, I just need to, I don't know, man. Like, I need help with this problem, because it feels like a full-time job just tracking your calories, plus 90 calories for the Freddo I just ate. I know the solution to the problem, but it's just hard and it's expensive. The solution to the problem is go to the shop, buy minced rice, chicken and vegetables, and then meal prep and make meals so that you know the calories before you even eat them. That's the solution. But obviously that's very hard. It's very hard to get into a habit of that. Plus it's expensive. You're looking at 20 or 30 quid a week. Plus the time it takes to cook. Because that's a lot of effort as well. Yeah, so I know the solution to the problem. However, what my daily diet looks like is I'll eat something for breakfast. On 90% of days, I'll have a meal deal for lunch. I'll have like 3 or 4 coffees in that day, sprinkled in between meals, whatever. Maybe I'll have an energy drink if I go to the gym. 0 sugar anyway. But I'm tracking my calories. But it just feels like a full-time job. Like, I'm sure many of you can relate to this. Like, the stress it puts on your mind that you only have a small amount of food left to eat today. Oh, you've hit your calories today, so now you can't eat dinner. Obviously, you're going to still eat dinner, but it's just, there's so many negative thoughts that run through your mind when you're counting calories. And it's just, you've got to think back to, like when humans started evolving, they didn't track their calories. You think hunter-gatherer humans, Neanderthals, you think they counted their calories? Of course not. Of course they didn't count their calories. That's stupid. But what they did is they ran around, because humans are naturally like good aerobically. They can run for a very long distance, marathons and stuff like that. That's what our hunter-gatherer ancestors did. And they hunted a big boar, a big animal, lots of meat. They're probably eating berries in between. They're probably going up to the bushes, eating berries, eating a few vegetables here and there. So they're getting a little bit of sugar. Maybe they're eating snails off the ground. I don't know. Maybe they're eating a rabbit here and there. You know, they're getting in their small little bits of meat to share within their tribe, their family. But then they got the big boar, the big animal. They're eating 8,000 calories worth of meat for dinner, you know? And then they're eating later. They're eating after dinner. They're probably having dinner at like 5 o'clock back in the day, 60,000 years ago or whatever. They're probably eating, maybe not 60, well, I don't know. I don't even know. But they're having a lot of calories because they don't eat and then eat a lot. They probably felt like shit after. They probably felt really bloated, but that's how they ate. They didn't track their calories. That's like, it's really unnatural to just count calories, because it's like maths. Was maths discovered or invented? That's like a debate. I think it was discovered because maths is everywhere, you know? But, and then the thing is with calories as well. Were calories discovered or invented? We didn't invent calories, did we? Or did we just discover they existed? Calories have always existed, haven't they? So we discovered calories. So calories were always there. But now that we're struggling, now people struggle with obesity and fat. Now they're at the point where they start counting them. And then it just makes me think, like, why are you counting calories? Because your lean, shredded ancestors, the hunter-gatherers, the Neanderthals, they didn't count calories. They just ate healthy foods. They ate vegetables, raw meat, and cooked meat. And yeah, rabbits and stuff like that. You know? So counting calories isn't natural. That's why counting calories was like a full-time job. You think the hunter-gatherer human gets a rabbit and then weighs the rabbit and thinks, oh, how many... Or not weighs the rabbit, because they don't have weighing scales. Do you think they pick up the rabbit and go, oh, this is a heavy rabbit. I'm going over my calories for the day with this rabbit? Of course they didn't do that. They're running around all day. They're hunting. They're not eating for days until they find that big boar, that bear that all of the tribe has hunted down. They're getting all of their calories, their food. They're getting all of that in that one day. But they're not fat. They weren't fat. We know they weren't fat. But then these days, you have fat people that they're struggling with their obesity and their health because of the ultra-processed foods that we have in supermarkets. Because of all the shit that there is available to eat these days. All of the fast food, all the processed stuff, sweets, chocolate, cakes, whatever. You know? So it's not natural to count calories. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do. Am I going to continue cutting? I'm going to try continue cutting. But it's just so draining on your brain. Why am I tracking coffee calories and stuff like this? And it's just... It takes a lot of energy out of your brain. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. Like... It's just so much time and effort just tracking stuff. The weight, it feels like you have a weight in your mind. Oh, I can't eat that. Like, you remember before us people, do you remember before we even discovered the gym, before we discovered health and fitness? We didn't track our calories, did we? Maybe it caused us to be fat and malnourished, but we didn't track our calories before. Why are we tracking them now? Obviously, we're trying to be ultra specific with deficits and gaining phases and all of this stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's obviously not natural to count your calories. And I think the way going forward is just try to build yourself a plan of eating healthy foods consistently without having to track them. Or just man up. Maybe I'm being a pussy. I'm probably just being a pussy. Yeah, I'm being a pussy. But yeah, just man up, and I guess just don't be a pussy counting your calories, I guess. I mean, yeah. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to me, like the video. Goodbye.